Hey there! Welcome to Code 1 Mechanical. Today we're going to show you how to install a humidifier. We've got a Honeywell Whole House Humidifier and Humidistat. This one is good for 3,000 square feet. So just about any house unless you live real bougie like. But this will include just about everything you need. I'll show you all the different components that are in here. So we've got our humidifier, the unit here. It comes with a duct, your pad that goes inside of there. It comes with a saddle clamp, but these are terrible, so we're not going to use that. Also has all of your tubing for your pressure switch, and we'll go over that. Does come with a transformer, but we're going to be taking power off of the air handler. We've got a humidistat, and this humidistat can be vertical or horizontal. It comes with the stickers for both. Oh, it's already open. Perfect. Where's the stickers? So here's your vertical sticker. And then we've got our horizontal sticker. Focus. Why won't you focus? There we go. Cool. So we'll figure out which one we use. Also comes with a little bit of foil tape. 2-wire thermostat wire or humidistat wire. Good length. We also have the drain hose, water supply, and a few other things here like a template for cutting out the hole in the ductwork, and of course the installation instructions. See, save this document for future reference. Read before installing. We probably won't. That'll be alright. So the reason we're not using the saddle tap is because we don't have any copper. Yeah, I know. Put it down in the bleacher sections. What's wrong here? But our water line comes in over there, and it's all PEX. From PEX, it goes to CPVC. CPVC being a different kind of PVC that can take hotter temperature. But we don't have any copper, and I don't like putting saddle taps onto PEX. So what we ended up getting, sorry for the brightness there, is a shark bite fitting, 1/2 by 1/2 by 1/4, and it's got a 1/4 turn ball valve in there with a compression fitting at the end. So there's a water line right here, a 1/2 inch water line. We're just going to cut this and install our shark bite fitting, and we'll be able to run our water line over and into the side of the evaporator cabinet. We will not be using the flexible duct that the kit came with because it is too short. It advertises 48 inches, but it's cold, so it doesn't reach. So we went ahead, and the only thing we could find locally was 6-inch semi-rigid duct. We're going to fish it through the back there. Our return duct will go into the back here. So this is our return plenum. We'll go ahead and tap this into the side here, and that goes all the way to the back. So here we have our humidifier assembly. Now this out of the box came with the damper on this side, but you're able to switch these to however you're going to install it. There's a couple of T20s Torx here and here. You just take those out and you're able to lift this out and swap it. So we already went ahead and swapped them because the way that this is going to sit, it's going to go, yep, right there. So we need the damper on that side. All right, in order to get started on our duct, cutting our duct, which we're going to go on the side of the evaporator cabinet, I've got this Milwaukee screwdriver, but it's made for ductwork. I'll show you guys on here. It's got focus, okay? It's got a special tip that is used to penetrate or cut into ductwork or sheet metal. It's real nice. So all I did is I got in the corner here and you just beat it. And it'll start cutting pretty nicely on the side that you want to keep nice. And it kind of folds in the other side. Once you got a big enough opening, we'll use our tin snips and go and start cutting all the way around. We just traced the humidifier, but it does come with a template that you can tape and then cut. So if we line this template up, it'll be exactly the opening that it needs to be. Cool. So we're going to take our tin snips. These are red offsets that I'll just be able to get different angles, and I've got different pairs. I've got just regular straight and also my greens for turning right. Red's left, green is right. So I'll use a combination of all of these to get our perfect square opened up. Voila. All right, so we're going to take our template, and I've just cut it across the dotted lines. Put it up here, since we got to go a little bit bigger than the inside.
Out of the humidifier, and we'll make a marking up here, in the middle, and over here. Same thing on the other side. Pretty close, but a little bigger.
So we got maybe 1/4 of an inch here and a 1/2 inch to cut over here. Let's get it done. Take our level, make sure we draw a level line. Perfect. Down here. All right. Perfect. Excellent. Okay, now just need my knife. We'll cut this guy open, test fit our humidifier. We're good to go. All right, we'll go ahead and cut our insulation for our coil. Just like that. Now we'll take our humidifier, mock it up, put some screws in it, in the corners, and then we can move on to attaching the ductwork, attaching our water and our wiring down to our air handler. Put a little vent. So we'll take our humidifier, line it up right into there, and then down. So the reason I went up and then down is because at the bottom here, there's 2 tabs. These 2 tabs rest at the bottom of the sheet metal, so that way it stays in place and it doesn't move around on you. So insert, go up, and then down, and it rests right there. Cool. So inside of here, once we've got it set up into the sheet metal, there are locations for 4 screws. So there's one there, one up top, one down here at the bottom. and then another one there. So we'll shoot some screws into there, and that'll secure it to the plenum or our evaporator cabinet so we don't get any movement. All right, we're going to put our duct. Let's take this tape off actually. Don't let it get in the way. And we'll take this label off. Boom. Insert our ductwork. And we'll secure it once we start getting closer to the end. Insert this. Move that a little further back. And all the way down. Perfect. And we'll shoot our screws in. Excellent. Next thing we'll do is we'll put our pad in. Hook up our hose to the trough. Here we are. Insert in the bottom first and then push on the sides. It clips right in. Okay. Got that nice and secure, and we'll tape it. Get rid of this sharp piece. So we got our duct in the back over here, and we're going to tie into our return plenum. Now we're going to use the takeoff or the collar. We're going to remove the collar off of this one and use it for our semi-rigid. We're just going to remove the staples off and insert it into the return plenum and then bend out all the tabs, and I'll show you guys that once we get there. Cut that off. Perfect. I'm just going to take this, place it on the ductwork on the back, trace it, and then we'll get to work on cutting a new hole open so that we can hook up our semi-rigid to our collar. Get you guys in here to see kind of where I've got the circle. Got it kind of close to the edge over here. That's good though. That gives us plenty of room to bend over the tabs. Once we get this in, we will be able to bend these tabs out so that it secures it, and we'll alternate. We'll go one out, one in, one out, one in, all the way around, and I'll show you guys that in a bit. So we're going to take our sheet metal hammer and our sheet metal screwdriver / pry bar, and we're going to do the same thing we did on the evaporator coil, where we're just going to punch a hole, and then we'll be able to start with our tin snips. So I'm just going to find a spot in the bottom, and for this one I'm just going to kind of press and hit on and this should be big enough to get our snips into there. Work the hole open a little bit bigger. So once we got it started, we'll just work all the way around on the outside of our marking. Perfect. Alright, we got our sheet metal cut out of our duct. You can see that little line I made, and I cut about 1/8 inch outside of that line. Here we have it, and we'll take our collar, test fit it, maybe, get it on the back side, push our tabs in a bit, there we go. So it's good fit, and actually we won't have to do the alternating tab out and in because that's a pretty tight fit. So once we get it in there, I'll bend all of these tabs out and that'll secure the collar to the sheet metal. Yes. Mm-hmm. Secure.
Almost. Take a screwdriver and kind of hold it. Vibrate, maybe? Nope. Squeeze. Squeeze and pull. Pull some more. More. There, we're getting it. Rotate. Pull. Use them or pull me. Almost.
Perfect. We'll just tape that. She's not going to go anywhere. That ain't going anywhere. Alright, now that we're under this ductwork and it makes it look really tall, I'll show you a little trick with this foil tape. I would be using my own, but it came with it. I like to take foil tape, then you got your wax paper, the backing. I'll take it all the way around, so whenever I cut a piece, so I'll come out, I'll cut the tape and the paper at the same time, and now I'm not fiddling with the backing paper to take it off. So that's a nice little trick that I always do. And be careful because foil tape will gouge your fingers badly. Take that over, give it a squeeze. Although a lot of people use the little scrapers or the plastic pads, but you don't need that. You need the cuts in your hands. Live on the wild side. Do that, cut the paper with the foil. See how easy that is? And then you just make a mess all over the floor that you pick up later. Go around the back. Make sure to get everywhere. Done. Not going anywhere. Hose for our pressure switch. This just senses differential pressure between our supply and our return. And that is installed using a little rubber bung and an elbow. So we've got an elbow and a bung and some wire nuts that we'll use later on. So we'll have to drill a hole in our return plenum for this bung and insert our elbow into there. So it'll end up looking like that. Stretch this out. And we're going to tuck this back behind as well because we don't want it running in front of the evaporator coil. Make sure we don't got any twists on the line. Perfect. And we'll cut all our excess off because we don't need all of this. And we'll poke a hole on the back here and insert our bung and our elbow. What size is this? We're going to use a step bit. This one goes up to 3/4, and we need a 3/4 inch hole in order to take our bung and our elbow. So we'll just pop a hole here on the side. Happy noises. What did I do with the bung? There it is. Alright, next we're going to insert our bung into the hole that we've made. I'll show you guys a hole. Perfect. So we got the hole right here, 3/4 inch. We're going to take the bung and work it into there. Push, pull, push and pull some more. A little more push. Yep. size. And we'll take our elbow, insert that, and then we'll cut our hose to length and attach it to there. Alright, I'm going to take my tubing cutters and just cut a little bit extra so we got some wiggle room. Rid of that. Insert that into the elbow. Might help to take the elbow off and then work the hose on. It's tight. Perfect. And right into there. So now we've got a finished product. Get you guys in here. Just like that. Alright, next thing we're going to do is run our wiring from our two terminals here down to our air handler. So we'll go ahead and open up the front of our air handler. Okay, alright, so at our control board, some of them will have a humidifier tab that you can tap off of, but this one we're just going to go ahead and go off of the white, or the W terminal, and our white is our heat. So we'll take our white here and a common, so the C is where this other white wire is going to. We'll run those wires out and up to the humidifier. We'll take our wire, undo the bread tie, that's what I call it at least, or bagel, or tortillas, tostadas. So we got plenty of wire, and we'll do a little loop, service loop in here, but we've got an opening on this side that will pop out of. First we'll just start here, get our wire strippers. Strip these back. Got our two conductors. Strip about 3/4 of an inch. And we'll be able to put those onto there. Now I'll take a screwdriver, kind of like this one, and I'll wrap our wire. Actually, we'll start on this side.
Around a few times. You can twist the screwdriver at the same time for however much length you want.
And then that gives you a little nice, cool looking service loop. We'll go ahead and undo these. And we'll put our red wire to that one. Okay, and then we'll take our other wire and go to common, or C. And that'll provide our 24 volts for our humidifier. Perfect. We'll take the other end and feed it through. Perfect. All right, now at this side of the air handler, we'll go up, follow these other thermostat wires, and use some zip ties to secure it to there. And all we're going to go is right into here. Now we don't want to cut this too short, so we'll leave a couple feet. Cut it there. We're going to need this because we got to go back from here over to the other side to where our humidistat is going to be located at, because that's going to tell it when to come on and come off. Alright, now we're going to wire our humidistat, and we're also going to install it into our return plenum, so that way it's reading the humidity that's coming back from the house. So this one's pretty simple. It's got two wires here that will wire nut to our thermostat wire, and then there's a template that will stick on here to make the holes to mount our back plate, and then the little gasket that goes in the back. So we'll just pick right there, and we'll make sure it's level so that it looks good. Where did the level go? There it is. So we'll set our level, make sure we're level. Yep. And slide this under there. Perfect.
And we'll peel back our sticker.
And we've got 4 holes right here, and then we'll have to cut out this rounded off rectangular circle. Okay. I'm just going to use a self-tapping screw. And same procedure again, we're going to use our hammer and our sheet metal screwdriver to start and make our hole. So we'll start down here in the corner. Should be big enough to get our snips into there. And we're just going to follow that . Alright, next thing we'll do is wire up our humidistat, starting with our wires here. So we'll strip these back, use a couple of wire nuts, and then there's a specific spot on the base plate down there where we need to put our wire through so it doesn't get pinched. So we'll strip our wire back about 1.5 inches, and then about 3/4 on these. Perfect. From there, we'll run our wire through our base plate first, so we don't forget. I almost did. Run it through. And it doesn't matter what color you do to these 2 black wires. So these colors don't matter. We're going to take our red to one of the blacks. I'm just going to twist that on. Tight. Take our white to our other black wire. And we'll just tuck those down so they don't get in the way. And you can kind of mock this up. So that'll sit like that and our wire is safe. Alright, let's mount this up. Alright, we'll get our gasket on. You put 1 screw through to hold it, or 2, probably 2. That'll be better. Okay, start one of the screws and then we'll line everything up.
Get our 2 bottom screws in.
Next thing, we chose to go vertical, so we're going to use the vertical sticker. Feed our wire through, clip this in, secure, get the dust off of there, and then we'll take the back adhesive off here and line this up. Perfect. We'll take our wire, probably run it back again so we don't have wires going in front of the unit. That's annoying. Alright, so I'm just fishing the wire back behind the furnace, and then we'll end up putting some clamps or something on here to keep it nice and tight. So here's our wire coming from the back side. Take the slack, and we'll leave just a bit more and cut that off. Alright, so we'll cut this, maybe give it another foot. Strip that back. And once again, about 3/4 of the insulation off the conductor. Perfect. We'll do the same to this one, but we'll take some slack out since we left a lot of extra. Double check we got enough in there. Yes. So we'll go ahead and cut maybe right here. Strip that back. How much am I cutting off? You remember? Yep, 3/4. Approximately. Eyeball. Now, these right here, we've got red and white. Now we know on our board, our red went to our white terminal and our white went to our common terminal. Doesn't really matter where they go as long as we get one on each. So I'm going to do white and white into the terminal block, and then we're going to wire nut the two reds together. So I'll take my screwdriver, loosen these up so they open, and then we'll insert those right there. But first I'm going to do a little service loop just like we did on the furnace. So I'll take this smaller screwdriver, go around it.
Just do as many twists as you think looks nice.
Okay, that just makes it look professional, like somebody knew what they was doing, you know. Go into here, make sure it seats all the way in, and tighten that. Then we'll do the same thing with our other wire.
Then round. Feel that bend, scraping it. Yep.
We'll do the same thing, insert our white. There we go. Tight, pull test, not going anywhere. I'll just take our wire nut, put those two together, twist, let go of the wires and keep twisting. That gives you that nice little twist there. Extra secure. And that's done. And then we'll just use a couple of zip ties along this conduit, and maybe use some straps to attach this around so it's not flopping around. Next thing we'll do is the water. So we'll take this tape off, and that gives us access to our inlet for the solenoid here. These wires, all they're doing is activating the solenoid, so whenever it calls for heat, it opens up, and if the humidistat tells us that we are under our humidity, then it'll allow water to go through, inside through the hose, and down our pad. Excellent. Alright, so we went ahead and turned the water off to the house because there's no shut-off valves for this line. Now what we're going to do is cut this line approximately here. And because it's PEX and we've got wiggle room, we should just be able to pull them apart and get our shark bite fitting in to run our 1/4 inch poly tube into the humidifier. So I got a bucket right here. Hopefully I can catch it. It'll probably just go in my eyes, but that's okay. Go here, cut, say, right in the eyeballs. Let that drain. Perfect. We'll take our fitting. And we'll just have the valve going that way. We'll insert. Perfect. In my armpit. And that's it. We've got our poly tube, and we just got to go into our 1/4 turn ball valve here. Now, because we're using poly tube, we have to use a little brass fitting, and that'll go into the poly tube. And we'll also be using a plastic ferrule. But first we'll put our nut on. Get our nut inside. And with the plastic ferrule, the taper side is going to go towards the nut. Just like that. And once we tighten this, it'll be watertight. Take 2 wrenches, need a backup. On the body. Open these up a bit. And that feels about tight. Shouldn't be too tight. Okay, now we're just going to run this through above, get it out of the way. And there's actually a hole right here that we might go through. Take this, go right through here. Fortunately, there is no other hole, so we'll just follow the line set all the way down. We'll zip tie that up to there, go down here, this way, and then all the way back into here. So, let me get some zip ties and get this hung up so that we can get our length and do our final cut.
Copper line set here. And we're going to take our flush cutters.
Cut those so they don't cut anyone. Nice and flush. Do it every 2 foot or so. Hello, vent. Good. Come down this way. Put a loop in and cut right about here. Just use my wire cutters here. sure it's pretty square. And then in here, it's just a push directly in. You'll feel it bottom out. When you pull back, it'll be stuck. It's just like a shark bite fitting, where you have to press on the collar in order for it to come back. And we'll fix all of this up. Might have made it too long. Nope, that's good. And we're set. It's looking good. Finish up putting our zip ties on here. Get a few more actually, just to make everything taut. Do the same thing with our wire. And then we're going to put a little loop right here. Use a couple of plastic clamps. Just hold that in place, just so it's nice and tidy. And we'll be ready to turn it on and make sure that it works. All right, I've got a couple of plastic clamps, and I'm just going to use those to secure this poly tube onto here. So we've got a small one.
Slap that one in here. Probably go right there. And just have some quarter zip screws. Excellent. Got a slightly bigger one. Go the other way. And we'll shoot that one into there.
Now it's nice and secure. All right, one last step here. We got to tape this up right here with our foil tape. Just get a nice long piece. Go all the way around and give it a good squeeze. We'll turn our damper to winter so that it's open. And verify that's working right. And she's open. So in the winter time, we'll have it open. In the summertime, you turn it to summer and it closes it so you get less air moving through here. But we're in winter, so we'll have it open. We'll leave this off so that we can see the water trickle down once you turn it on and verify that we are set to go. We're just going to take one of these clamps and secure this wire so it's not dangling all over the place. Oh, wrong way. There we go. And put it right to the duct. Just like that. Good. Alright, so we just turned it on to make sure that it was working properly, and it is. We just got to hook up our drain down here. We've got, comes with a little finger clamp. Slide that over our tubing. Get it down in the nipple. And then just squeeze that clamp on as tight as you can. We'll put a clamp on here to just support it. Big. Right there, just so that this doesn't get pulled off. And because he has a condensate pump, we're going to be terminating into the condensate pump, so we'll just stick it into right next to this PVC. That'll work. Awesome. Alright, we're going to secure this clamp probably up here so that it won't kink it down there. Right there. Take this down, do another clamp about there, and cut our hose. From here, too long. Secure it and attach the hose into there. and trim it to about the bottom of it. And feed it in. Maybe. Just like that. Now we'll go ahead and turn it on and show you guys how the water runs down the pad and how the humidistat works. Alright, we've got our furnace calling for heat, so reducer motor is running. Once our reducer motor runs, it activates our pressure switch. It'll tell our gas valve to open after the igniter goes off that we can't see. Maybe we can. Where is it? Over here. So there we go. It's going red hot. Gas valve open. Fire. Alright, once the blower comes on, it's below here, that's going to allow these two different tubes to see a difference in pressure. So this clear tube's going over to our return duct, and the black tube goes into here. Where's it at? Way down there actually. It's hard to see, but it's back there. And it just sees a difference in pressure and tells our solenoid to open up. So we've got our fan running, just kicked on. So this clicked. Now we have to go over to the humidistat. Right now it's off, so we'll go ahead and turn it on. There's a click. A little vent. Once we go up here, we'll start seeing the water running down our pad. And we'll see it coming out of our drain. Eventually. Got some sprinklers here. Once this fully saturates, you shouldn't have any water popping out, but at the beginning you'll have some water pop out. Also doesn't help that the cover's not on. But here we can see we've got a little bit of water coming down, and as this trickles down, it'll fill up our condensate pump, and it'll start pumping the water out. And that's a wrap. We've got our humidifier installed, our duct running back behind. Not ideal, but that's what we had to do in this situation. Go around the back side. We've got our duct, our hose right here, and then our wire running over. Perfect. Alright guys, so that's a wrap. We've got our humidifier installed. So now the house will be able to keep a nice 30 to 40% humidity, which is much more comfortable than in the teens or even 20%, and that'll allow you to run your heat a little bit lower as well, because the air now has humidity and retains a lot of that heat, so you feel like it's warmer than it actually is compared to dry heat. So if you guys have any questions, leave it down in the bleacher section, and as always, thank you for watching Code 1 Mechanical.